standing here with the one, the only, Justin Wong. We are at Dreamhack Montreal in the Bud Light living room. Justin, how's it going?
It's pretty good. This is my first time here in Montreal, so a lot of my friends are here, so we're ready to just kick back, play some video games, and try to win this tournament.
Nice. I don't know if maybe you would even bother before a tournament, but have you tried to do anything fun in the city yet and experience the Montreal life?
So I got here last night. We went to go dinner in Chinatown, and that's the only thing we did so far. So hopefully maybe sometime this weekend we get to go out. I know the FGC here always said, man, this place is a party city, so I guess we have to wait and find out.
Nice, nice. I hope you have a lot of fun. Are you okay with French? Do you know any French even? Maybe? Possibly?
I know the word bonjour. That's about it, but yeah, I don't really know too much about French. I have a lot of friends that speak French, but I'm very bad at French.
As long as you have friends that can speak it for you, that's really all that matters, right? So, we're here. This is the Bud Light living room stage. It's an audio recording, so just describe to the people listening, what is this stage? What does it look like? What are we seeing around us right now, Justin?
Pretty much it's one of the Capcom Pro Tour stages, and yeah, it's awesome. You have the barrels, you have the fences, you literally have just the tables. It kind of reminds you of something from Spain, I would say. So it's definitely cool, because I would say that this stage is definitely something that you never played on. I never played on a real life stage. I played on arenas, wrestling rings, but never on an actual real life stage. So I think people that are coming here this weekend are going to be really excited just to have that experience, to be part of the game.
Cool. So you've been a part of the Bud Light eSports venture for a while now. Tell me a little bit about how you became involved in that and what it really means to you to be a part of it.
So I've been playing fighting games for 16 years, and I've been playing when tournaments were at local arcades, college venues, little hole in the walls for a couple $100. But now we're playing for over six figures, $150,000 for E-League, $350,000 for the Capcom Pro Tour. So many people want to come in and support the fighting game communities like Bud Light, Red Bull, and all that type of stuff, and it's just really cool. I'm just really excited, just because if you think about 16 years ago and you tell me that, oh yeah, in 16 years we're going to be here in Montreal hosted by Dreamhack, and Bud Light is going to have a real life stage and we're going to have all these sponsors, I would just laugh at your face. But now it's a reality, and I really don't see it ever going down. I see it just keep rising up because of just fighting games are just so popular, new fighting games are coming out, and more people just want to just back it up.
Do you ever feel any concern that the FGC is being any kind of overshadowed by some of the bigger titles in this sphere? Obviously, the FGC is huge, it's massive, and it's gaining more and more traction every day and more attention every day. But do you ever feel any concern that maybe you're fighting a battle against some of the bigger titles?
Obviously, the bigger titles like League of Legends, Dota, they're always going to have their $1 million tournaments, right, and really big fan base. But I feel since for the fighting game community, I don't feel like we're fighting a battle. I feel very blessed, because where we came from, we literally started from the bottom, and now we're actually somewhere, right? I'm not sure about the League of Legends community or Dota community where they started, but when I first heard of League of Legends, it was in beta, and all of a sudden they're having a LCS and they're having finals already. So they already started from the top. But we literally started from the bottom, winning $100 tournaments to minimum now $10,000 to $30,000 tournaments. So to me, I'm already happy, and I'm just excited to see how far can we still grow. Even if there's a battle, I don't think we treat it as a battle. We treat it as let's just keep going up.
So let's talk a little bit about the Capcom tournament happening here at Montreal. What are your personal expectations for this tournament? How do you see yourself?
My personal expectation is to win Dreamhack Montreux, just because I won. I'm one of the winners of Dreamhack Austin, so I already won a Dreamhack. And the thing is, this tournament's actually pretty important for a lot of North America players, because if they win this tournament, they're pretty much going to be a shoe-in to be guaranteed to be in the finals for regional finals. So getting into the regional finals is my top priority right now, because for the Pro Tour finals, I'm already guaranteed qualified because of my global points, but my North America points is not as high because I haven't been going to many North America events. So winning this would make me like not be concerned of not making it into the regional finals. So I think a lot of players have the same idea in their mind. So you're gonna see a lot of people are gonna be very thirsty trying to get that win this weekend.
What are your thoughts on the Capcom Cup Circuit that has been installed? It seems to me that there are a lot of events that offer points. Is that a good thing to you, or is that almost a negative thing to you because there's so much more to do? I mean, this weekend alone, I think it's like triple booked, right?
Triple booked. Every week's usually like minimum 2 Capcom Pro Tour events. Like, I want to say there's like 90 events this year alone. There's only 52 weeks in a year. You can't actually attend all 90. You can attend 52 if you want, but it's a lot of traveling, right? It's like literally you're the world warrior for Street Fighter if you're doing the Capcom Pro Tour circuit, right? Like you have one of the players from China, Dark Jawa, like he was in Puerto Rico, Argentina, Brazil, and now he's in Dubai for another tournament. I'm just like, my God, like it's actually kind of insane. I personally think that there are too many events, because even outside of Capcom Pro Tour events, there are events that are sponsored by really big backers, right? Like you have E-League, you have the Geico tournament at PAX last week, you have Red Bull doing the Battlegrounds, right? So it's just so much. Like, so technically it's more than 90 events if you're a professional player, because you got to think about, all right, do I choose ESL Brooklyn Beatdown next week, or do I go to one of the 3 CPT events that's happening? Thunderstruck Mexico, Asia, or even France for the ranking battle. It's really hard to decide, right? If you want to go for the money or go for the spot in the finals, right? So it gets really, really complicated. But the thing about it is that Capcom is really good at they just want to support the grassroots tournaments, right? Even though there's 90 CPT events, these are still all grassroots tournaments that have passion for their community. So it's really hard to say it's a negative thing. It's really a positive thing if you think about it. But for a pro player, I would say it's just too much, because eventually you're eventually going to break hearts, because you're going to have to choose, right? Like, I come to your tournaments for 6 years straight, but 7th year, I might want to take a break because of all the constant travel I've done.
Kind of tying into that, so I mean, we mentioned this weekend is like triple booked. I know that the brackets for here, they're pretty damn steep. The brackets for Manila, they're pretty damn steep. For you as a competitor, would you prefer this kind of division where people kind of like pick and choose where to go, and maybe you have an easier run at one tournament than you would at another tournament? Or would you want every weekend, every tournament that you go to be super stacked and you battle it out and it's just a constant war?
I would love it to be a constant war, but I don't think that can ever happen, because not everyone is sponsored, and also even if you are sponsored, you might have a different obligation or a different contract, so you will probably never see that happen. But the fact that you will always have pro players going to an event no matter what, like if you go to a Capcom event, you're not going to ever be the only pro player that's going to try to qualify for Capcom Cup. There's going to be a few, right? So because of that, that's always really good. So you're always going to have competition, you're always going to strive to be better, and it's one of those things that the ultimate goal in the end is getting into the finals to compete for the largest cash prize that Capcom has to offer.
Part of what you're doing here with Bud Light is you're going to be taking players and kind of coaching them like a fun stream thing, a stream war with Filipino champ here. I want to ask you a little bit about the way that you see the new competitors that are rising up in CPT right now. I mean, you're a legend, you've been around for so long. Tying into this idea of kind of like cultivating and rising up in the scene and helping that new talent, what are your thoughts on the new players that have come up in the past couple of years? Is there anyone who super stands out who you think is going to be the Justin Wong of 10 years from now?
So I always thought, so before Street Fighter 5 came out, it was kind of like stagnant. So once it did come out, you have a lot of young players are just winning most of the time. You have Knuckle-Dew, you have Punk, you have like IDOM, you have like just so many young players that just want to come up. So right now, I definitely want to see probably like Dew or Punk to be like the next generation. Like, so before me, like obviously like the top players at the time was Alex Valle, John Choi, right? So now like my generation would be like myself, Ricky Ortiz, and then now you would say that it could be like Knuckle-Dew and Punk. It's just one of those things that like me and Punk are really good friends, so I kind of like try to like help him, like, you know, you don't want to like say stuff like this, you want to be more like that, you could keep your smack talk and stuff like that, but you can't really say controversial stuff because, you know, now you're a role model. Like if you walk around to the HyperX booth, you're literally on the billboard, right? It says you want to be the alpha, you got to wear the alpha, right? So it's one of those things that you have to like put yourself in more of like a positive limelight than a negative limelight, because even though we're like models, we're still human beings that still have our own opinions, right? So you see a lot of people talk about how like, oh, I hate this game is bad, blah blah blah, and like it's all just negative talk, right? But I think that's just life in general, that everyone just wants to be negative and they don't know how to be a role model. And I think that's like our job, like myself, Filipino Champ, Rick Ortiz, Pierre Barwag, just like our job is to like kind of like grow that younger talent so the future generation can do the same thing, rinse and repeat. Because if you look at Valle, he's the uncle, right? And he has really shaped up the SoCal scene with Wednesday Night Fights just like so well. So I'm pretty sure he's thinking about the same thing, looking for like a successor for that as well.
Do you think that those lessons of kind of PR and social media experience, I mean, you as somebody who came up from, you know, you were saying back like $100 tournaments were a big deal, right? Was it an easier lesson for people now to learn, now that the industry is so big and has been around for a little bit longer? Like, do you think that Punk is learning faster than maybe you did, or do you think that it really just varies from person to person?
I mean, like as time goes on, everyone's gonna learn faster. Like back in the day, it was really hard to learn how to play fighting games or learn how to find technology, and also learn how to communicate with people, because we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have Twitch, we didn't have internet back in the day. You know, we had 56K AOL, but now it's just everyone is able to just contact each other, right? Everyone has a smartphone. Everyone just all there's the texting craze, and legit, like you can learn how to play anything. You could learn anything in life because of Google, YouTube, okay? And also watch like your favorite players play on Twitch and just see how they learn and ask them questions in the chat. So yeah, it's definitely way easier to learn things about just anything in general like now, because of how advanced technology has compared to like the 90s and the early 2000s.
You talk about technology. The FGC is traditionally like really unique insofar as the way players could come up and the way players would learn, with the really in-person, arcade-centric kind of communities that spread it up. With this change of technology that you're talking about, do you worry at all that maybe the FGC is losing a part of that, as maybe less people are learning in the arcades and more grinding it out on ladder?
We definitely are losing part of that. Like obviously, if you think about it, arcades are, sad to say, they're kind of dead, and it's all about just online play, console, just like, and yeah, pretty much online matchmaking, going on like Discord, going on like Facebook groups, and just talking, watching videos on eventhubs.com. You know, you like, I really do miss the arcade feeling, because I remember like some of the best times at my local arcade, Chinatown Fair. We had some really epic battles, and it's just like you just had to be there to just watch it, right? The only place that still kind of carries that arcade culture is Japan. Like if you go to Japan right now, even though Street Fighter 5 is the main Capcom game, everyone's still playing Street Fighter 4 at the arcades, because, you know, it's just fun to interact with people in real life, right? Who doesn't like that? But I think in America it's more like dominated in terms of the PC world, because of games such as Overwatch, PUBG. You know, you can't really play those games at the arcade, even if there was an arcade, right? Still, so it's one of those things that people like to stay home, and I can't blame them because I do like to stay home as well. You know, it's really comfortable. You're in your living room and just playing games all day, and you know, you're on your computer without having to like go outside and stand up in an arcade. But I really do miss the arcade feeling. It's one of those things that we definitely have lost in the FGC.
You talked before about Alex Vi maybe looking for a successor of sorts. You've been around for such a long time, and you're still competing at such a high level, but do you ever think that you could or would want to fill that kind of role and maybe be more of an ambassador for the scene on whole than a competitor?
I think no matter what, I'll always be part of the FGC. So even if I, let's say, stop competing, I would probably step into like maybe doing what Alex Vi did in terms of tournament organizing, growing a community, or just being like working at like Capcom or even Bandai Namco as like a manager to bring the FGC together with the product. So no matter what, I'm always going to be FGC for life.
Do you think that's where you're headed? Where do you see yourself in 5-10 years?
So my friend actually said that I would probably still be competing in tournaments at 55. I don't really see that, but I mean it can happen if it's like so big and if I'm still really sharp with like my execution and my hand coordination reactions. But if not, I do see myself working at like a game company. Like I was working at NVIDIA for like the last 2 years as like a senior software engineer. So I was just staying there, doing full-time still FGC, but I wanted to get that experience because I was already thinking about like 10 years down the road, if I have a family, you know, I can't just be traveling around the world playing video games while I have a baby, you know, like 4 a.m. needs to change the diapers. Oh, I'm not there to change the diapers. So it's one of those things that I am getting ready for the future, but also it's just, I'm very passionate with the FGC, so I really want to just kind of stay in there as long as I can.
Well, listen, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I hope you're around for years and years to come. Real honor getting the chance to talk to you, Justin Wong.
Oh, thank you for having me.